ISQF, Icelandic Qualifications Framework. Lifelong learning. Throughout life, we're constantly acquiring new knowledge, skills, and competencies, often totally unaware that we're actually engaged in learning. We learn in school, in the workplace, at home, on our own, and from others. We learn to obtain qualifications, carry out our jobs, and for our own pleasure. Increased competencies make it possible for us to further our qualifications, be better able to take on specialised work, deal with change, and adapt to a constantly evolving society. In this way, lifelong learning forms an integral part of our lives. The European Qualifications Framework. Since the introduction of the European Qualifications Framework for Lifelong Learning, EQF, in 2008, European countries, including Iceland, have been focusing on developing a holistic approach to lifelong learning and on creating national reference frameworks linked to the European one. The EQF is a reference framework that allows learners and employers to understand acquired skills and compare qualifications from different countries and understand how they relate to one another. The EQF uses 8 levels, which are based on knowledge, skills, and competence. Each of the 8 levels are defined by a set of descriptors indicating the learning outcomes relevant to qualifications at that level. By linking qualifications and competencies to the EQF, workers find it easier to move between jobs and learners to move from one training or education establishment to another in different countries. The Icelandic Qualifications Framework, ISQF, uses 7 levels. The aim of using one comprehensive framework to describe the entire Icelandic education system is to increase transparency, both nationally and across Europe. Increased transparency also makes it easier to compare and assess an individual's competence irrespective of where their learning took place. In the ISQF, short descriptors indicate the learning outcomes relevant to qualifications at each level and what you should know and be able to do upon completion of a course or a qualification at that level, irrespective of the subject of study or the place of learning. In this way, the framework helps individuals better understand the competencies they should have obtained on completion of a period of study. It also helps employers assess what employees should know and be able to do. All accredited qualifications in Iceland have been classified into these 7 levels. The first level refers to general education at the junction between compulsory and upper secondary education. The second level is characterized by short specialized courses focused on preparing individuals for further study or for jobs that require initiative and responsibility to carry out well-defined tasks. The third level includes increased specialization for work within a specific field or as preparation for further study. It includes preparation for higher education, certified trades and professions, specialized courses and art studies. The fourth level is characterized both by increased demands for specialization within a specific vocational field or in preparation for further study and capacity to supervise teams. The fifth level requires knowledge of theoretical concepts, application of methodology, and critical analysis relevant to the study field or profession to be able to take initiative, carry out plans, and supervise teamwork. The level is split up into 5.1 and 5.2 respectively. 5.1 includes short cycle degrees, while 5.2 encompasses degrees at the bachelor level. The sixth level is characterized by advanced knowledge of theoretical concepts, application of those concepts in the development and execution of projects, and showing initiative and responsibility in implementing said projects. The level is split up into 6.1 and 6.2 respectively. The main difference between the two is that 6.2 calls for research experience. The 7th level calls for in-depth knowledge and application of theoretical concepts, research and methodology in a specific study field or profession. the ability to lead research and to carry responsibility for complicated theoretical or technical projects. Let's take a few examples of how qualifications are placed at a relevant level in the framework. Anna has a doctorate in engineering and works for a large engineering and consulting company. Anna took a traditional route through the Icelandic school system to acquire her doctorate. Andreas is a hairdresser. After completing compulsory school, he went on to a vocational school where he completed a journeyman's exam after finishing his workplace training. Andreas has worked at the same salon since he graduated. He likes his job, but dreams of opening up his own and training his own apprentices. In order to realize this dream, he needs to take a Masters of Trade exam. To obtain that, he must go back to school. Andreas has now had many apprentices in hairdressing. He finds it rewarding and would like to become a teacher at the local vocational school. For that, he needs to go to university and complete a diploma in pedagogy for master tradesmen. Magnus is 33 years old. He recently took over his family restaurant business. Magnus always wanted to become a chef and started studying at a vocational school following his graduation from compulsory schooling. For various reasons, he did not finish his studies and has no qualifications beyond the compulsory school exam. Magnus is eager to boost the current business. To allow him to do so, he needs to increase his competencies and complete a journeyman's exam in cooking. Magnus starts the learning process by going through validation of his prior learning. In this process, he can have all the competencies he has gained from his work experience and through non- and informal learning documented and validated. Having had this experience validated means he will be able to complete the journeyman's exam more quickly. Magnus completes the courses he has yet to finish and graduates with a journeyman's exam in cooking. Magnus was advised to take a few extra courses and complete a matriculation exam concurrently with his journeyman's exam. Magnus can now choose from 2 different learning paths to build on his current competencies. He can take the Master of Trade exam and obtain the right to take on apprentices in cooking. The other option, which he's seriously considering, is to go to university and take a Bachelor of Arts degree in Business Administration. Finally, let's look at an example of how qualifications in the ISQF compare to other national frameworks and the EQF. Helga has a Bachelor of Arts degree in graphic design from an arts college in Iceland. Helga wants to specialise in graphic design and is considering entering a Master of Arts programme at a university in the Netherlands. Master of Arts in Graphic Design at a Dutch university is at level 6.2 in the Icelandic Qualification Framework, but at level 7 both in the Dutch Qualification Framework and the European Qualification Framework, which both have 8 levels. More information on the ISQF and the EQF can be found at www.isqf.is.